Between the three of us, we've seen both Captain Marvel and Alita. I mean,
well, I didn't see Alita yet.
So, it's probably not shocking to any long-term viewers on our channel that, this was a pretty hot topic issue a few weeks back that, people were debating. What was the better of the two movies? Why Rotten Tomatoes sort of favored Captain Marvel over Alita, despite the fact that fans weren't crazy about Captain Marvel, but fans were pretty crazy about Alita. So,
yeah,
now that we've actually seen both movies between the three of us, I think that's pretty apt for debate.
Indeed.
I mean, Captain Marvel, man, I was just like, it was so hard to find actual words to describe it at the end. Because I was just like, and that's so hard to hear for a Marvel movie because everybody's always got to be like, dude, oh my god, that was awesome. But this one, I was just like, wow, you felt absolutely none of that throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, John actually has some nice things to say about Alita, so why don't we hear from him first before we go into a deep dive in here?
Yeah. I'm curious because I actually did not get to see that yet. So
yeah. Well, first I'll say I think the whole dissonance you're experiencing with Marvel movies, or at least this one, not being so amazing, is because, like I said last week, brand loyalty. You have to break from it. Remember, not everything from a particular company is going to be golden.
True.
It's not all going to be the most amazing thing you've ever seen. They can screw up. They can do things that that you might not be interested in, and that's okay. You don't have to suck it all in like some kind of rabid consumer. Just keep them coming, Granny.
Oh God.
You can take a break once in a while. I've taken a break, but I did go venture out after a while of thinking. I think a few people talking about, reading about Alita changed my mind a little bit. And I thought, well, look, James Cameron is behind it. Robert Rodriguez, and there's no denying their eye for visuals and storytelling. I mean, most of what they've done is pretty great. So it had that going for it. And it looked like a cyberpunk movie, which I love cyberpunk. I like all this synthwave kind of aesthetic. Everything futuristic is what I'm into. And I thought, the whole thing would be saying that CG movies are kind of overdone. I thought, well, I didn't see Aquaman, I didn't see a bunch of things. Maybe I'm being a little too stiff on that rule. So I'll check it out. It's in its last week anyway. So to my surprise, it was pretty damn good. And so good, in fact, that I actually can't wait for them to make another. Because the way it leaves off, it's like, it's almost like an Avengers of Infinity War type thing. Where you're like, no, that can't be it. I gotta see more. I gotta see more right now, damn it. But yeah, it's not just an action movie. There is action, of course, and it's great, because, of course, Robert Rodriguez. But, the main character, you look at her, and you see these big, uncanny valley-looking eyes, but I swear, the first time when you're actually sitting there, watching the movie, the first time, you actually see her by herself on screen, it's like, something clicks right away. You can identify with this character, and that applies the whole way through. She never really acts in a way that I'm like, yeah, this is kind of taking me out of it, or, yeah, no, I'm not really with her on this. Almost the whole way through, I completely, I'm with her, as the one guy says in one of the scenes, but I am, because I feel like she's very identifiable. She's very human, and that's the important thing. She's
even though she wasn't technically human.
Yeah, well, she's a cyborg. Everything about her is robotic. Yeah, I
was going to say android or cyborg. I couldn't remember for the life of me there.
Yeah. So everybody in this movie, or it's a movie where being a cyborg is it's a normal thing, kind of a normal thing, and so
we're that far in the future, where cyborgs are just whatever.
Yes, it's the year 2565 or something like that.
All right, yeah, then definitely we are more technologically advanced there. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's another cool thing is that this movie does a decent amount of lore building, but not enough that it gets you away from the main character, which really is the focus of the whole movie. That's what keeps it grounded, is just how identifiable she is. Not you can put yourself in her place, but just the way she feels about things. It's all very, like I said, it's all human, it's good, it's great, and there's still a whole lot more to explore lore-wise and world-building for a sequel. And I'm just hoping that they'll give it a chance and not wait too long like they did with Pacific Rim. But yes, I can see why the people commenting on our channel are so passionate about it. I agree with them.
Yeah.
This movie is worth talking about.
I mean, no, I definitely feel like I have to give that a decent chance. Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, just seeing the fan response from this, I'm very inclined to see this at this point. You know, like especially just from what you've said so far. Like, if I don't see it this weekend, I'm gonna probably try to see it next week while I'm back in town.
Yeah. Which is kind of a surprise because I think the last major anime or manga adapted movie was Ghost in the Shell, and that got kind of a meh reaction.
What in the world is that?
It was the Scarlett Johansson thing. Got a huge controversy against her for whitewashing.
Right.
You know, it's
so stupid already.
It was a similar thing. It's another future thing with like cyborgs and whatnot. The main reason why I didn't go see that was because I don't like Scarlett Johansson. I just don't like her in lead roles. I'm sorry.
You don't like her as Black Widow?
I tolerate her as Black Widow, but she's not even Russian at all, which Black Widow always was in the comics, and nobody speaks up about that.
Okay, fair enough, but still, that is my girl Scarlett Johansson being the best goddamn Black Widow.
Well, she's the only Black Widow.
Exactly.
They could do better. I liked her a lot in Iron Man 2.
Okay, that was a very good adaptation.
Oh, she was awesome, and that was probably her best appearance as Black Widow.
I actually think, yeah. I remember Tony was just like, I want one.
That and maybe Captain America Winter Soldier she was okay in.
I'm very mad about Captain America Winter Soldier.
I don't remember that one that well, actually. I don't remember her being that.
Yeah, no, it's honestly a pretty forgetable film when you think about it.
Decent.
It's good.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it.
It's good, but it's got a deep plot.
Yeah. So speaking of meh and unforgettable meh and forgettable films. Let's talk about Captain Marvel.
Let's talk about Captain fucking Marvel again.
Cool transition.
Yeah, I mean we're never gonna live this down, are we?
No.
Okay.
We're gonna get a bunch of feminazi haters on Twitter now.
Yeah. No, I mean, no matter what, if we talk about this, we're going to either be considered
send me your hate.
We're either going to be considered sexist or feminist. So let's just dive into this.
It had nothing to do with any of the actors' portrayals or acting jobs or performances whatsoever. In my book, just stating right now, it was with the movie and the movie itself. That is my only grievances about this movie.
Yeah, God forbid we have an actual opinion.
You're not allowed to have an opinion unless it's in agreement with the hive mind. Are you agreeing with the hive mind? Otherwise, you will be disassociated from the collective and banished.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the Borg wants us to join, and we're getting even closer every day.
Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated.
Okay.
I think I'd rather get assimilated.
So, I do want to say, just initial response for Captain Marvel in a word, meh. It's like it's not the kind of movie that I outright hate, but it's like it's so far beneath so much of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You have to wonder how it got past pre-production.
Oof.
Ouch. Yeah. But yeah, like from here, like there were aspects that I enjoyed and all that. It's just like like with Fury and I'm sorry, spoilers if you didn't already see it, but God forbid you are watching this before you even see the movie, but whatever.
Don't see
the
movie.
the fact that a cat or whatever
Flarkin.
the hell whatever it's called.
Flarkin,
yes. The Flarkin Goose was the best character set just shows how they were so ill prepared for this movie.
Yeah, I mean that's painfully true.
It's gonna be a yikes for me.
Yeah. I really wanted to love Brie Larson's adaptation. No, I'm just saying right now, she did a good job. I was just okay, but it's not going to be memorable. It's going to be like Jennifer Lawrence Mystique. I'll be like, oh shit, yeah, that happened before. I'm sorry, but that's what I got to compare it to.
Yeah, so John, you don't mind if we get into spoiler territory here, do you?
Absolutely not.
I do not care whatsoever. Spoil, and spoil.
Spoiler alert!
Nerds, watch out.
So first of all, I want to say that it felt like the kind of movie that it felt like it wasn't even a full movie. It felt like a short film that just went on for 2 hours.
Agreed.
It didn't really have much of a plot. It was pretty just dull to watch.
I was just like, oh yay, amnesia factor. Let's go through this trip again.
Yeah, that was just a dumb way to tell an origin story.
It's the worst way to tell an origin story in all of Marvel.
Actually, no, hold on. It can be done right because they do it in Alita. She doesn't remember anything about her past, but she slowly encounters different events that spring up memories from her past life, and they make her realize who she is and what she's meant to do, and that plays into like a parallel journey. Well, maybe not parallel, but that plays into her whole arc in the movie, like where she starts and where she ends up. So it can be done well.
So that's not carried out well in my Captain Marvel, especially because the audience knows from like point blank, just like the marketing makes it painfully clear what her backstory is.
Yeah, they show it in a flash. They're like, oh look, she's falling, she's tripping on the ground a bunch of times. Hardship, there it is, hardship.
Oh, who's this woman?
Yeah, so that's basically.
Oh, who is this mysterious woman that is building something?
Yeah, so that's basically the extent of the character development we get on Brie Larson's Captain Marvel on Carol Danvers, but
And I'm sorry, that's literally the worst adaptation of an origin story ever from comic to movie. I was just like, really? That's what you're gonna do to Mar-Vell? Like, that's just lazy.
I mean, it's something that, like, after Phase 2, Marvel has really been lacking on, but
no shit.
It just hit a new low with Captain Marvel. It's just a shame,
I'm sorry, but I'm less hyped for Endgame now. Like, I'm just the most hyped for the next upcoming Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, that looks awesome. I will say, I think Marvel must have considered, hey, maybe we should make this thing as underwhelming as possible just so Endgame will seem that much better, but, I have to imagine that must have been, like, part of their grand scheme,
I don't think so, though, because look at all the hype there was for Black Panther, and then Infinity War came almost right after.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Really?
Captain Marvel, or what's it? Black Panther was, again, like a similar sort of situation, but even that was like standard Marvel, but it was still enjoyable. Like,
well, according to all the press it got, Black Panther was certainly the cat's meow.
I hate you.
I had to do it.
God, John.
But yeah, so, and I didn't even realize that parallel at first, that both of their stories kind of begin with amnesia. But here's the difference. Alita is very likable. Captain Marvel, or what's her name? Carol Danvers?
Carol Danvers.
I'm guessing not really, or not as much. Like, is she even a likable character?
She was.
I mean,
She
not
was
really.
getting hate on by literally every single man.
Yeah,
it showed, and only had like one genuine connection with her fellow co-pilot, or like just like fellow air pilot in the Air Force.
Even that is like
Even had
underplayed,
like no good relationship with parents. So I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
like you had one friend. Cool.
That's another big thing. Like we talked about like the feminist implications of this thing in the past. Like exactly what, like how the Marvel was forcing the whole feminist agenda on the marketing in the past.
There was no need for a feminist agenda in that at all. That's like, seriously, the movie should have said itself.
Yeah, I mean, the movie itself wasn't like terrible about it, but there were like two really notable scenes where it just like, plugged that shit. It was so apparent about the whole thing. Like, they could have been like less transparent about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a scene at the beginning. It's like when she confronts the biker eventually, and the biker is like looking at her, and the biker's like, "Oh, hey, why don't you give me a smile?" It's like that typical feminist talking point.
Oh yeah. Like,
it's like so goddamn cheesy.
I literally saw what I saw in commercials about like the feminist agenda.
Yeah,
I was just like, really?
Yeah, like
you made it that kind of scene.
I mean, you have to wonder if there's a guy in reality who's ever said that to a woman, but that seems to be like every feminist seems to bring that up.
I feel like that hasn't happened to like anybody in real life since like early 2000s. Yeah. Let's be real.
No, it's just like a cheesy movie stereotype at this point.
And if people even like, if you do talk like that still, you got problems.
I'm surprised there isn't a scene in the movie with her walking around Manhattan and looking for catcalls.
Basically.
Oh my god.
This is why I need to be stronger than everybody. Well, blast all you misogynists, I'm Laser Lady. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, so the other like major feminist point is like the final fight of the actual thing, which is actually really underwhelming because like I mean, Jack, you know exactly.
I don't even remember the final fight.
I mean,
that's how sad it is.
So I mean, first of all, it's incredibly underwhelming. Like it feels like she's putting in clearly.
It felt like she immediately was able to go binary for some bullcrap reason.
Like just her whole power set is so inconsistent throughout the whole thing, especially like after she becomes that level. It's ridiculous that she can like destroy a massive space fleet, but it takes her like 5 minutes to actually kill all this Kree army.
Yeah.
But like they play and you might not be as familiar with this, but there's like a No Doubt song, which is Gwen Stefani's band from the 90s.
No, I'm not aware of this.
It's this song called Just a Girl, where it's like, I'm just a girl doing my whole thing, and she's like fighting along to this music, and it's...
Really? That's what was playing? Yeah, I remember what that song is now that you're talking about, but I was just like, really? It was that?
It's just ridiculous.
Oh,
Guys,
God.
the Marvel Cinematic Universe is sorely lacking in memorable composers? What's the word? No, musical compositions and thematics. So
And
what do you say
villains.
for the first female-led film? We have really, really good, memorable music. The first trailer had decent music, so let's take that idea, let's flesh it out, and you're putting in shitty pop songs from the 90s.
Get the fuck out my face with that shit.
Yeah, basically.
What do I care? You're not on my board.
Here's what I want to know. And, like, not that I knock superficial character changes, but I don't think this one is very superficial. Why is Mar-Vell a woman?
Honestly,
I don't get it.
yeah,
either.
it doesn't really serve a purpose in the grand scheme of things. Like, the character is meant to be sort of a confidant for Carol, but like it's barely touched
And
on
how
that
are
they
we
had a
supposed to know
relationship.
that he was even Captain Marvel in the first place?
Yeah, no, it seems like this version of Mar-Vell is just some scientist, and that's really
Wow.
all the character development we get. Like, we don't actually see
Or
her
even
at
that,
any
like,
point.
when there was the explosion that they were making contact, and that's how she got her powers in the first place.
Yeah.
But, all right, whatever.
No,
Let's just make an energy core blowing up on her.
it just doesn't work on a lot of levels. That's what it comes down to.
It's not like she was even chosen by the ring because she was worthy or anything, right? It's just, oh yeah, I was standing by this thing and it blew up, and whoa, here we go.
Yeah, that's basically it.
It was just such an anticlimactic origin story overall.
Yeah, I fully agree. That
Yeah.
being said, the movie does have good moments. Goose
It
is
does,
Goose
definitely
is a
does.
great
Like,
character.
again, Goose.
Uh,
Goose. Let's talk about Goose. I like
yeah,
Goose.
no, I love
Goose's
good
own.
Flerken, but
I want Goose to have his own movie.
that's
now.
like the good comic relief of the whole thing. Sam Jackson.
DC, get on that.
Yeah, Sam Jackson, good as
I hear
ever.
consistently that Nick Fury is the most entertaining on the screen.
Yeah, no, he
Oh
was
my
awesome.
god, he
in it.
is the best.
Yeah. You can't beat a good Sam Jackson performance,
Oh, never ever.
That's the funny thing. When I see the trailers and I just hear him talk, like, every time he talks, I'm like, yes! But then when she talks and it's just, like, snarky comments or out-of-place sass, it's like, why you gotta come off like that?
Yeah.
What's your
Well,
problem?
That's the other positive for the movie itself. Like, she seems more emotional than she does, like, in the trailers. Like, she actually seems to
Yeah.
give a performance, whereas in the trailers, she's, like, the most benign thing,
Also, I do have to give it to the actor playing Phil Coulson.
Oh,
because that made me happy seeing a young Coulson.
Yeah, Clark Gregg.
Yeah, seeing him again made me very happy. I was just like, yes, he has hair.
Yeah. He was good, even if he was underused.
He's always good. Yeah, and again, very underused. He was like, "What was it true, sir? Did a creator burn your eye out because you didn't?"
Yeah, that
was
was another thing that actually bugged me about the whole thing. It sort of underplays Nick Fury as a character to find out that the reason he got his scar and he lost his eye initially is because of fucking Flerken.
Yeah, right? I would have rather if they'd have done
literally, I was like, "Oh, come on!"
I would
Like,
have rather they did a
it's-
Nick Fury
it's
movie
so
and had some
mild.
cool story.
It was used for comic relief.
Oh.
What the hell?
I want a Nick Fury story right now. That'd be great.
Nick Fury, an Avengers story.
Yeah, and how they came up with the Avenger Initiative. It was freaking
her name,
Danvers is his nickname
Yeah.
in the Air Force. Carol Avenger Danvers. Real original, Marvel. Real original.
They're kind of retroactively retconning all this shit that's been building
Yeah,
up for like 10 years now, and they're saying, oh no, you see, now it's all a result of this one magical, amazing character who you're gonna love in Endgame. Oh, you don't love her? Okay, we'll just kind of minimize her parts in the trailer. Hold on.
Yeah, that's unfortunately.
Yeah,
what we're facing.
where's Fury? Good, that's all you better be saying.
So I mean, that the other thing that really bugged me at the whole trail, the whole movie, and I'm just going to touch upon this briefly because I know we have to move on. The Skrulls, I have mixed feelings about how they use the Skrulls. I actually like Talos. Ben Mendelsohn, I believe, is the guy playing Talos.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, he was a great Skrull. I feel like there's no potential now for a Secret War storyline or any sort of storyline moving forward with the Skrulls. Yeah, I mean, they just sort of portray them as being this empathetic character.
Literally, like, I saw them as the little, like, creatures from Rick and Morty that, like, from season 3, that, like, some species just kept hunting and killing them because, like, they were just simply there.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like, at this point, they're, like, Captain Marvel played through the whole good versus evil dynamic. And, good on them for reversing the whole thing, but it's like, it was still a good versus evil dynamic. It's just boring, There's no dimension to this whole thing. It's, I don't know. It's really just dull to watch when it comes down to it.
I was just like,
Just
And the fact that Ronan didn't even do anything, I was like, come on, man.
the twists are obvious. The characters are one-dimensional. That's what it comes down to.
Especially Monero, that was the most disappointing part. I wanted their encounter to be so much better. Like, I wanted it to be the battle, and she was just like, "Oh, you knew? Is that why we never hung out? No, I just didn't like you." I was just like, "Really?"
Yeah, there was some good
So
potential.
like middle school back and forth girl conversation. I was like, "Come on, that is the best you can do."
Yeah, there was some good potential there that they just fully missed out on.
Yeah, right. It could have been so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So the Utterly Nonsense official evaluation, Captain Marvel, unless you're a big, huge, diehard Marvel fan, you can basically just skip it and wait for Endgame. Alita, go see that shit if you still can. See that shit, you won't regret it.
Online.
Yeah, just see it in the theater if you can. I think it's worth it. Definitely worth it.
In a generous opinion,
Captain Marvel.
I give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
That's being generous.
that is really generous. Yeah.
6 out of 10. That's me.
Alita, I would legit give it 9 out of 10 solely because there really isn't anything I could nitpick about it, and I'm pretty
You
nitpicky.
think Alita's hot, don't you, John?
Hey, now
Yeah, she is.
that does not affect my objective evaluation of the film too much.
Sure it doesn't.
I'm about that hard body shit, man.